Now my next step is to write the bass line in for the harmonies that I've chosen. So I'm just going to do everything in root position right now except for the obvious inversions that I've already chosen to put in there. Okay, I'm going to check my bass line with root position and just see how it lines up with the soprano. So 5-chord root position, I'm putting my 5th scale degree in there as the bass. My 1-chord as the bass. Now what I'm going to do once I have that bass line written in there is just check the motion between the bass and the soprano. Okay, so that one is contrary motion, so I know I'm safe there. Contrary is good. Oblique motion is fine. I'm not going to have any sort of parallel fifths or octaves involved there. I check all that motion is acceptable. Okay. The other thing I need to check is, are there any tendency tones that need to be resolved? Okay, if I ever write a leading tone in the bass line, I need to make sure it resolves to Do. Leading tone in the key of G is F sharp. I don't have any leading tones in this bass line right here, so we're safe there. If I have a 7th, a chordal 7th, it needs to resolve down. So this chord here, a 5-7, does have a chordal 7th. This is D F A C, D F sharp A C. So the C is the chordal 7th, which is in the soprano. Does it resolve down? Yes, it does. Beautiful. So I can keep that just as it is. The other thing I might check is just doublings. But since we're in root position on all of these, it's fine if I double the bass in the soprano. It's fine if I don't double the bass in the soprano. We can just assume that that would be in the tenor or alto part. Okay, so if I go on and do that to this last phrase, I may find places in here where I want to put one of these chords in inversion just to avoid parallel motion or to resolve a tendency tone correctly. So let's just put this bass line in here real quick. This will be a D, G, 6, E, 4 is C, 2, 6 is also C, 1, 6, 4, 5, and 1. That's supposed to be a half note. I know you can't tell, but okay. So now I'm going to check my bass line for motion compared to the soprano. I'm seeing some parallel motion here. Parallel thirds, that's okay. And mostly contrary motion after that. There's similar motion here. It looks pretty good. So since I'm not having problems with that, I'm not going to try to change it. Now if I did, and I said, well, I don't want that parallel motion right here, then I'm going to put this in an inversion. Then I start running into other issues. Okay, so if I had this, for example, this 6-6, then I'm going from a G and a G to a C and a C. Even though that's not parallel motion, it still causes a problem, which are consecutive octaves. So anytime I have an octave, even if it's just 1 octave apart, going to another octave, maybe 2 octaves apart, even through contrary motion, that's called consecutive octaves, and it's against the rules. So we'll just stick with our original root position chords, and it works out a lot better. Now let's make sure that we are resolving any tendency tones correctly. This 5-7 here, I've got a chordal 7th that needs to resolve down, which it does. Leading tones would be F sharp. I I don't have any F sharps in my bass, so I'm safe there. This F sharp here in the soprano already resolves correctly because we didn't write that one. So there you go.